Welcome to the Foodie Show. It's so great to be here. Normally, I am based in New York City and Brooklyn. Today, I'm in Paris, so not so far away. And my name is Sarah Enline, and I'm an entrepreneur in residence at Harvard Business School and a senior innovation fellow there as well. And I am the CEO and chief writer of Riding.co, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. My last business was actually in food and beverage, selling to Whole Foods nationally in the United States. And my next venture is going back to the internet. I was at Yahoo very early, and so now I'm going back to create another internet company. So it's so great to be here today, and our guests are just amazing. I'm going to start with Irina, who has an incredible multifaceted background. She's based in Bulgaria, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her background. Irina.
Hello, everyone. My name is Irina Gavrilova, and I'm the CEO of foodtech innovation boutique from Bulgaria. We do various developments in food tech, starting from like vast technologies and particular ingredients, like, for example, fermented spice oils, different fibers, sugar replacement techniques, and so on, and up to final products. And we've done quite a lot of serial food tech innovation developments within the last 4 years. And basically, we see ourselves as a startup for startups. So with us, every startup can develop a new food technology. Not only a big company who could normally afford it, but just any small project, any idea can be put to shelf just within 3 to 6 months. This is basically our major development and our major mechanism that we are very proud of, that within 3 to 6 months, you can put it from idea to shelf.
Great. And Irina, a little bit about you and your journey of even getting to this point. Tell us about you as an entrepreneur.
Well, I've been in business for about 20 years. Part of it in large corporate business. I've been finance top manager in large multinational corporations. And then at some point I realized that this is not really my path, and I'm an entrepreneur. And in 2008, I left the corporate business and I started my journey as an entrepreneur. And then in 2016, I ended up with this new idea about fermented spice oils, and we've developed. We call it liquid spices, and this is a new technology that started our journey in food tech. And based on this liquid spices, which are, this is liquid stuff, and this is not essential oils or something like this. This is like really healthy, fermented, which is one of the major trends these days. And I fell in love with this. And these last 4 years have changed my life dramatically. And we've become like a scientific company. We've become a scientific team in developing new new ingredients, new products, and so on. And this is really cool. This is really fun, and this is really contributional to the world. So when you can make life of any person healthier, more fun, more complete and accomplished, just by giving people different food, and then this food has to be developed by somebody else, and then a lot of companies are involved into this. So we help those companies to develop their new products, new ingredients, and new technologies.
Great. Thank you. Let's pass it to Amir. Amir, another serial incredible entrepreneur from Israel. Amir, tell us about you, not yet your company, but tell us about you and your background.
So thank you very much, Sarah, and thank you, the Food Show, for asking me to join this very interesting panel. I have over 20 years of experience in innovation. I've been in the area of startup companies on both sides of the table for the past 15 years. A lot of experience in medical technologies for the years before joining the Kitchen Hub. Managing business development for startup companies and also managing investment processes for venture capital funds and for investment companies. And this is the background that led me to be a part of the founding team of the Kitchen FoodTech Hub, which is where I work today since 2014. And a few words about the Kitchen FoodTech Hub. So I'm the Vice President of Business Development for the Kitchen FoodTech Hub. You can call it the Kitchen for short. And we established the Kitchen in 2014 to start and support and incentivize innovation in food tech in Israel. We're located in Israel, and we are, I would say, a seed investor and a technology incubator, which is providing both, as you can understand from the definition, seed money of a few $100,000, roughly $600,000 to $700,000 per company that we decide to invest in, and a full suite of services that are provided to those startups that are joining us in our program, ranging from an office space and a laboratory through support from our chief technology officer on the technical side, from our HR expert on their team building, recruitment, etc., and all the way to marketing and business development, which typically I provide together with my team to the startups on their what would be a minimum viable product, the product market fit, how to approach customers, and of course, not less important, achieving a significant milestone and approaching the way to approach follow-on investors that would support the companies going forward. Over the years, since we've initiated the hub, at the beginning of 2015, we've done 18 investment in startup companies. All of them, of course, are in food tech, in different areas of food tech, which we might cover in a little bit. So we've invested in 18 different companies that have now become portfolio companies of the Kitchen. These companies are now employing over 100 employees in those different companies and are tackling challenges of the food value chains, from alternative proteins all the way to food safety. I would just add that the Kitchen is owned by one of Israel's largest food companies called the Strauss Group, which is a multinational company based in Israel, and it is also part of a government program of the Israeli Innovation Authority. So when we are investing in startups, we are actually leveraging government money to provide a larger package, I would say, financial package, to the startups that we decide to invest in.
Wonderful. Wow. Okay, we're going to go deeper there, but I'm going to pop back to Irina before I come back to you. And this is a very American question, but hey, I'm American, so we'll use an American phrase, which is, what is your secret sauce? Both of you have, been scaling, creating traction within these ventures, and so I want to understand, what is the secret sauce around that? Then we're going to talk about trends, but I'll go to Irina. 4 years, lots of activity. What is the secret sauce?
Thank you for such a question. I would say that one of the first sources would be my children, because I started this when my kids were 2 and 3 years old, and it was the moment when I faced the problem of what I can actually buy in the supermarket. And I started being very attentive to the label of any food box that I take from the shelf. And I started paying attention, and I had quite a lot of knowledge already in medical field and food chemistry and so on. I started paying attention that a lot of data on the label is really it's either not for human consumption if you want to live long, speaking of longevity trend and so on. It's about food safety per se. And I just started, looking into food industry as into the source of the future of my kids. And I guess this was one of the major factors. And then, of course, there's a lot of curiosity, natural curiosity, and pretty much all my life I've been tracking certain trends and novelties and so on, which finally came together into this business concept, which we're doing right now, because we are a very curious company. We're pretty young. We're 4 years old, as you noticed. And just within 4 years, we've put together all this curiosity, food safety concerns, future food concerns, and so on into the concept of live, fermented, healthy, safe food, and so on. So I guess that's pretty much it.
I love, what an answer that it began with your kids. I'm a belle maman, which is stepmom in French. My stepkids are French. And so I literally have been saying the same thing about the new company I'm starting, which is we need a safe, nurturing internet, not a dark web and not the violence that we see. And I really lean into the belle maman piece. And so Irina, I love that your secret sauce is that you have authentically leaned into the fact that you want to see change, right? That's really, it's really special. So back into that same question, what do you think is helping the company move so quickly in 4 years?
First of all, our biggest treasure is our team, because all our team, it's now about, the core team is about 8 people, and like about 12 more, which would be like the whole team. So the core team is all people that are really like-minded. Like, we are all of the same kind. And with all this synergy that we get by working together, for some period of time, we even did the co-living for when we were building the concept of the startup and so on. For about 2 years, the team even lived together, in order to understand how to do it. Like, it was 24/7 run in order to build this new model of the future of the food industry and so on. And when we realized that, okay, we can make it on a serial basis, it's not only this one technology that we started with, it was just the impulse, the initiator, the key. But then it has become like a wave. It has become like more and more and more. We became hungry for it. And then pretty much almost once per week, we file another concept, which isn't like the pipeline of the future project potentially, because I think we kind of got connected to certain field, which is giving you more and more ideas and vision and so on, and giving you the passion to execute it. So I would say that the key to success in this case is our team, frankly.
Nice. Okay, we're gonna pop over to Amir here on secret sauce of your incubator. What's driving the success?
I think it's a great question, and I had the opportunity to think about it while Irina was giving her answer. And I think that for us, and I'm speaking about myself, but of the kitchen team as a whole, it's about understanding that we wouldn't have jobs if it wasn't for the real food tech entrepreneurs such as Irina. So the whole justification for our existence is the fact that there are these great and amazing people that are innovating in different fields, trying to solve issues, to provide new products and tackle challenges of the food value chain, and they are the real heroes around us. And our job is to find the ones that we believe that we can work with, and provide them with all the support that we can provide, be it capital or the other issues that I've mentioned before. But we need to be humble and understand that without the entrepreneurs that are founding those startup companies and ventures, we wouldn't have anything to do. And This makes us a team that is very pro entrepreneurs, and we are trying to provide whatever we can for them to succeed, bring all of our experience and all of our knowledge and know-how. And this is from the immediate team in the kitchen and our network of starting with Strauss and other companies around the world. We are collaborating with many different companies, the biggest companies, the biggest food companies in the world. PepsiCo, Mondelez, Danone, they're all partners of the Kitchen Hub, and trying to bring the most value to create the highest chances of success for those companies. And I think this is the way that we handle ourselves, and this is what makes us different. And if I try to pinpoint what a secret sauce might be, I think that might be it.
I love that, Amir. It's in a way, I'm curious if you have a phrase, because you could say customer service, but it's really kind of entrepreneurial service that you're talking about. Is there actually a term internally that you use?
No, there is no specific term that we are talking or using, but it's in our DNA. Everything that we do, and we have, for example, I'm talking about investments and portfolio companies, but if you look, the team in the kitchen is relatively larger than the team that you will find in a venture capital fund of that size, because we are all about providing those set of services. So it's not about two people that are, partners in a venture capital fund and are deciding which companies to invest in. We have operations manager, we have HR manager, we have a CTO, we have business development people, and they're all there to work with the startups on a day-to-day basis. We have the location where the startups are coming in to sit together with us. So just as an example, imagine, and Irina must be, probably can relate to that. You're starting your new company, and there's the two of you. You're the two founders, I don't know, one on the business side, the other one on the more technical side. So when you want to have, let's say, a management meeting and brainstorm those, you go into a room and you're two people. But if you're a part of the kitchen portfolio, you go into the room, and we go into the room too. The CTO, the VP business development, the CEO, suddenly you're 5 or 6 people, and you can really brainstorm. So without even doing anything, specific to answer a need, you have more brain power to work with, and all of a sudden, this is different.
Yes.
So that's what we do.
Is there a core value that you have listed that you think makes this sense of service just part of what you do?
I wouldn't say so. I said that the mere understanding of what I said at the beginning, that the justification for us is the sense that is around us. But our core values are around, and it's written in very big letters on the wall of the kitchen: better industry, better food, better world. We are looking when we do our screening, when we do our diligence work on deciding on the startups that we are investing in, it has to have an impactful angle, I would say. It has to do with either health and wellness, or environment, or accessibility to food, something that makes the whole thing be, as I mentioned, for a better world. There has to be some kind of a mission-driven startup. It cannot be just about, a new neat product that is combining a few flavors that weren't tried before. That's fantastic. I'm not dissing that. This is great entrepreneurship. This is just not our DNA. We are looking for the startups, that are making a dent in the universe, that are changing something for the greater good.
Yes, so better industry, better food, better world. I see that in Irina as well. Making a dent in the universe. That might be the quote of the panel here. We're making a dent. I'm working on the internet. You two are working on food tech. How cool. Let's talk about trends and what you're seeing. I'm going to go back to Irina around beyond your company as well. What are you seeing popping up around food tech?
Well, first of all, I have to mention that trend tracking has become our core professional feature. we started with that because we understood in the very beginning, in 2016, that focusing on one particular product or even technology is really not enough for us. So we started, looking around and checking around for what's going on in the food industry per se. Who are the main players? What's going on? What are the trends? What people switch from to, and so on. And we see now a lot of things which are industry related, which are habit related, which are social trends related, and so on. So, well, speaking of, to name a few, one of the major trends I think is, especially after COVID, I mean, logically, people switch to smaller portions of everything just because the economic environment has changed a bit, and people still don't want to give up on pleasures. And then the functionality has not substituted pleasure. It just has become a mandatory additional feature on top. And you gotta see the individual portions in everything. These are the products of one of our clients, another startup from Croatia, for example. They've gone a lot of individual portion developments, the products that are all individual portions. And this is working out because people will not pay the amount it's worth, I mean, as a product, as a new generation of the product in a bigger portion, but they are okay with paying 1-2 euros for a small pack of something. Like, for example, this is a terrific snack of the new generation, which is corresponding to all the trends of keto, no sugar, and so on. This is vinegar with honey and fermented spices, which has gone through triple fermentation. So triple fermentation in this case is taking us to another trend, which is consuming live and fermented food, which is good for microbiome, which is good for all possible health dimensions you can imagine. And it's good for humanity overall. Like when I'm watching my kids consuming different types of food, I can see that the effects of what they eat, how they eat it, and so on is tremendous. So, for example, when you give them let them buy a Snickers or something, or they eat something like this, it's a totally different story. I mean, you can practically see the effects on how they behave, how well they do in studies, how they sleep, up to how they go to the toilet, sorry. These are all important aspects of life of a human being. So in this sense, live, fermented, healthy for microbiome and microbiome supportive food is really, really important. Another thing in terms of trends is the focus on longevity and well-being. Well, one can say it has always been there, but not really, because during COVID isolation, people have come to think about the philosophical things that were not really in the picture that much before, let's say, and longevity, well-being, local food appreciation, and care for environment in terms of packaging and in terms of local food, like to skip more logistics and so on. These kind of things have become so natural now and so present in the everyday talks in between just regular consumers, not some kind of thinkers, philosophers, whatever, no, or nerds. No, they've become regular topics for regular people. And I love this, these kind of trends have the tendency and give us hope to see the world food industry shifting towards some better food for better life.
Yes, wonderful. Amir, tell us, you're in the middle of an incubator. You must have so many things flying around. I'm curious.
There are so many things flying around, but I will try to focus my answer on trying to be current and up to date, and talk about the trends that we're seeing during this COVID and post-COVID-19 era. And I would like to try to be brief, but divide it into 4 categories which we see as a major, or in which we see major trends. And those are what we eat, where we eat, how we shop for our food, and how we are manufacturing our foods. So on what we eat, I think Irina covered some of it. I think that one of the most or one of the strongest trends that we see right now, and it's just increasing an existing trend that we saw before, is the alternative proteins trend. I think almost, or most of the people, or a lot of the people know that while we share some diseases with animals, I don't know, avian flu or others even COVID that some suspect came to us from an animal, we do not share any diseases with plants. So plant-based proteins, or plants as a source, a major source of proteins in our diet, is getting stronger. It was a strong trend before that, but it is getting much stronger. So I think people are becoming more aware, and alternative proteins, be it plant-based, cell-based, or even insect-based proteins, are now being more on trend, even more on trend than before. The second major trend, and this is what Irina touched upon, is food as health, healthy foods, foods that are boosting the immunity system, clean foods, and foods that are altogether better for you are now being more sought after by consumers. This is one of the major trends of what we eat, and I think also in food supplements you see a rising trend of immunity boosting supplements, etc. The second thing that we see is what we eat. Well, I think we're all very much aware that during this period of COVID-19 and post it, and until we see a major change, which is not yet on the horizon, people eat much more at home. And this means that people need to cook more, and this is an opportunity for different startups in areas of meal kits, for example, or tutorials, or content generation about how we prepare our foods, etc., etc. Even new kitchen appliances and smart kitchen tools for the home kitchen. I think how we shop is very clear that everything, or the online shopping experience has become much more robust. People are not going to the supermarket as much as they did. So grocery shopping and delivery from restaurants, a lot of dark kitchens that are restaurants without a physical location. And the last one, because we are very short on time, is how we manufacture. And the thing was that a lot of the food processing factories became COVID infectious hubs. Yeah. Especially in the meat industry, and I think the trend of robotics in food manufacturing is picking up dramatically, and we will see much more robots and automation going into food manufacturing. So those are, in short, the four trends.
Great capture. Thank you. So we are really at our last seconds, and so I'm going to give 30 seconds back to Irina on a closing comment, 30 seconds to Amir, and then we're going to close our panel today. Irina, closing thought.
First of all, I would like to thank the Foodeshow for this invitation, for sure. This is an amazing opportunity to speak about our passion and what we do and so on. Just wanted to briefly add to Amir's sharing the trends on manufacturing. We saw that manufacturing has become so complicated for so many small companies that we decided to introduce a prototyping production facility and we see that it works, and we are willing to share this concept with different entities in other countries so that this could be implemented. This works.
Now I think they're going to cut us off. So Amir, do you have a sentence? Thank you, Irina, for sharing that. Amir, do you have a sentence to share?
There's a ton to be improved in the food value chain. Startups are the engine of change. Look out for the startups that are going to change everything you know about food and how we consume it in manufacturing.
Love it. We're going to make a dent in the universe. Look out for the startups. Irina and Amir, thank you so much. What a wonderful panel today about innovation in food tech and all the great things going on in Israel and Bulgaria and around the world. Thank you so much.